The night Yugo's brother died, he was standing beside Blessing when the phone rang. Blessing screamed before she even spoke. And in that scream, something inside Yugo broke forever. For 3 years he had loved her in silence. That night the silence began to turn into something dangerous. Before you continue listening, take a moment to subscribe to this channel if you love deep African stories about love, family, and difficult choices. This story will test your heart. It will make you question loyalty, silence, and the price of love. Stay with us till the end because the truth you will hear may change how you see family forever. Yugo was the second son of his family. The one people rarely noticed. Not the firstborn. Not the pride. Not the one everyone waited to hear from. His elder brother was everything he was not. Confident. Respected. When his brother spoke, people listened. Even their father listened. Yugo admired him deeply. He always had. That was why what later grew inside him felt like a betrayal he never planned. When his brother married Blessing, the entire family celebrated loudly. The wedding was big and colorful. Music filled the air. Laughter echoed everywhere. People congratulated the groom as if he had won a great prize. Yugo stayed mostly at the edges, helping quietly, carrying things, greeting guests, avoiding attention. He did not know that the woman entering their family that day would slowly change his life. Blessing was not loud. He was not dramatic. She did not try to impress anyone. That was the first thing Yugo noticed. While others rushed around her, adjusting her clothes, fixing her scarf, telling her how to smile, she stayed calm. When she looked at people, she looked directly at them as if she truly saw them. The first time her eyes met Yugo's, she smiled. It was not a big smile. Just a gentle one. Respectful. Warm. Yugo looked away immediately. He reminded himself she was his brother's wife. That alone should have been enough. At least he thought so then. Life after the wedding slowly settled. The family lived together in the same compound. His brother worked long hours. Yugo helped with errands and family matters. Blessing stayed home most days, learning the family's ways and adjusting to her new life. That was when Yugo began to notice small things. Blessing greeted him every morning. Not loudly. Not carelessly. Just a simple greeting said like it mattered. If he looked tired, she noticed. If he stayed quiet, she did not push him to speak. Sometimes she asked how his day went. No one else ever did. Yugo told himself it meant nothing. She was simply kind. But kindness, when someone is not used to it, can slowly turn into something dangerous. He began to avoid her. Not because she did anything wrong, but because he did not trust his own thoughts. He did not like how his heart reacted when she was around. Every day he reminded himself, Blessing belonged to his brother. Slowly things began to change. His brother started coming home late. Some nights he did not come home at all. When he did, he was quiet in a strange way. Distant. Distracted. The laughter he once had slowly disappeared. Blessing noticed before anyone else. Some nights, Yugo heard soft crying from her room. Quiet tears. Controlled tears. The kind people cry when they do not want the whole house to hear them breaking. Each time Yugo felt a tight pain in his chest. He wanted to ask her what was wrong. He wanted to comfort her. He did none of those things. Instead, he lay awake in his room, staring into the darkness, angry at himself for feeling too much. One evening the power went out. The compound became dark and hot. The air felt heavy. Yugo was sitting outside alone when Blessing came out holding a small lamp. She sat a short distance away from him. Not too close. Always careful. For a long time neither of them spoke. Then Blessing asked quietly, "Do you ever feel like people don't really see you?" The question surprised Yugo. He answered without thinking. "Every day." Blessing nodded slowly as if she finally understood something about him. That night they talked longer than they ever had before. About childhood memories. About dreams that never came true. About regrets they never shared with anyone. They did not touch. They did not cross any line. But something dangerous began that night. When Yugo went to bed, he knew his heart was no longer safe. From that day on, Yugo became more careful. He avoided being alone with Blessing. He shortened conversations. He stayed out longer. He focused on work. But feelings do not disappear just because someone wants them to. The more Yugo tried to push them away, the stronger they became. He noticed Blessing's sadness before she spoke. He felt her pain deeply. When she smiled, his heart felt lighter. When she was hurt, he suffered in silence. Till he said nothing. Silence felt like the only way to remain loyal. Whispers began quietly. People talked about his brother's frequent absence. Late nights. Secret phone calls. Another woman maybe. Hugo never asked his brother. He did not feel he had the right. Blessing never complained either. She carried herself with dignity, even as the light in her eyes slowly faded. One afternoon Hugo found her sitting alone, staring into space. He asked if she was all right. Blessing looked at him and said, "Sometimes, loving someone makes you feel more alone than being alone." That sentence stayed with Hugo for a long time. The night everything collapsed came suddenly. His brother had traveled again. Or so they believed. The phone rang late at night. Hugo answered it. The voice on the other end was shaking. Words rushed out. An accident. A highway. A hospital. The phone slipped from Hugo's hand. Blessing was already beside him. She saw his face and understood. Before he spoke she screamed. The sound filled the house. Painful. Unforgettable. At the hospital nothing felt real. Bright lights. Busy footsteps. Strange smells. They were told his brother did not survive. No long explanation. No gentle words. He was gone. Blessing collapsed. Hugo caught her before she hit the floor. That was the first time he held her. Her body shook violently. Her tears soaked his clothes. And in that terrible moment, guilt stabbed Hugo for noticing how natural it felt to hold her. The days that followed were heavy. People came to mourn. Words filled the house. Food arrived untouched. Blessing moved like a shadow. Quiet. Broken. Hugo stayed nearby, always aware of watching eyes. Family eyes. Community eyes. At night he prayed for his feelings to disappear. They did not. Weeks turned into months. The house grew quieter. His brother's room stayed closed. His belongings untouched. Blessing slowly returned to life, but something between her and Hugo had changed. There was now an awareness neither of them named. One evening Blessing looked at Hugo and said, "If you feel nothing for me, tell me. I need to know so I can move on." Hugo's heart raced. He realized then that silence was no longer protecting them. It was destroying them. And that was when the real trouble began. Hugo did not answer Blessing that evening. He could not. The words sat heavy in his chest, fighting to come out, but fear held them down. Fear of disgrace. Fear of family anger. Fear of destroying what little peace remained. So he stood there in silence. Blessing watched his face carefully. She was not looking for promises. She was not asking for love. She was only asking for truth. When Hugo said nothing, she nodded slowly. "Okay," she said. "I understand." But the way she said it told him she did not understand at all. She was simply tired of waiting. From that day things changed. Blessing began to keep her distance. She greeted Hugo politely, but the warmth was gone. She stayed longer in her room. When she went out, she went alone. Hugo felt the loss deeply. Silence, which once felt like safety, now felt like punishment. The family began to notice. An aunt made careless comments about how long Blessing had been alone. Another spoke about how a woman should not stay without direction for too long. Their mother watched Hugo closely, as if measuring something in her mind. One evening his mother called him aside. "You have been very close to your brother's wife," she said calmly. Hugo's heart skipped. "I was only helping," he replied quickly. She nodded. "That is good. But people are watching. Be careful." Hugo understood the warning. From that moment, fear wrapped itself tighter around him. Not long after, something happened that shook everything. Blessing fainted one afternoon while washing clothes. The family rushed her to the clinic. The doctor asked questions quietly. Blood tests were done. Hugo waited outside, pacing like a restless child. When the doctor finally spoke, his voice was low. "She is pregnant." The words felt unreal. Pregnant. The family reacted immediately. Confusion. Murmurs. Questions followed fast. How? When? Who knows? Blessing said nothing. Her face was pale. Her eyes were fixed on the floor. Hugo felt dizzy. People began to whisper. Some looked at Hugo. That was when he understood true fear. That night, Blessing called Hugo to her room. "I need to talk to you," she said. Her voice was steady, but her hands were shaking. "The child is my husband's," she said quietly. "Before everything fell apart between us. Yugo exhaled, relief and pain mixing together. But no one will believe that easily, she added. They will look at you. Yugo felt cold. I will protect you, he said without thinking. Blessing looked at him sharply. That is exactly the problem. She explained that the family had already begun to suspect him. The closeness. The time spent together. The silence. Even if nothing happened, people will believe what suits them, she said. Yugo knew she was right. The tension in the house grew. An uncle confronted Yugo directly one evening. Tell us the truth, the man said. Is the child yours? Yugo felt anger rise. No, he said firmly. The uncle studied him. Swear. Yugo swore. But doubt did not disappear. The family began to divide. Some defended Yugo. Others believed he had crossed a line. Blessing stayed quiet. Too quiet. One night Yugo found a letter under his door. It was written in his brother's handwriting. Yugo's hands shook as he read. The letter was dated weeks before the accident. In it his brother admitted everything. He admitted he had been unfaithful. He admitted he had neglected his wife. And then came the sentence that crushed Yugo's heart. I see how you look at her. I know you care for her more than I ever did. If I am gone one day, take care of her. She deserves better than my silence. Yugo sank to the floor. His brother had known. He had known and said nothing. The next morning Blessing was gone. Her room was empty. Her clothes missing. Only a short note remained. I need peace. Please don't look for me. The family erupted. Some accused Yugo of chasing her away. Others accused Blessing of running from shame. Yugo said nothing. He packed a small bag and left the house. Weeks passed. Yugo searched quietly. Not everywhere. Only where his heart led him. He found Blessing in a small town far away, staying with an old friend. She looked thinner. Stronger. Tired. When she saw Yugo she cried. I left to save you, she said. And myself. Yugo showed her the letter. They cried together. For the first time they spoke openly. No fear. No pretending. They did not rush into anything. They understood the cost of love. When they returned months later, the family was waiting. There was anger. Shame. Arguments. But there was also truth. Yugo stood firm. I did nothing wrong, he said. But I will not abandon her. Blessing stood beside him. The house fell silent. Life did not become perfect. Some people never forgave them. Some walked away. But slowly peace returned. Blessing gave birth to a healthy child. Yugo raised the child with love and honesty. Years later people stopped whispering. They saw the care. The respect. The quiet strength. And some stories, though born from pain, and not with applause but with understanding. Yugo thought the worst had passed. He was wrong. Peace can be quiet but resentment is patient. Even after Blessing gave birth and the whispers reduced, the family never truly healed. They only learned how to sit in the same space without speaking about what burned inside them. The baby cried often at night. Sometimes when the crying echoed through the compound, Yugo noticed how some doors stayed tightly shut. How some footsteps moved away instead of closer. The child reminded people of things they wanted to forget. The first real confrontation came during a family meeting. It was called without warning. Yugo's mother sat at the center, her face tired but firm. Around her were uncles, aunts, and cousins. Blessing sat quietly with the baby in her arms. No one smiled. An uncle cleared his throat. We cannot continue like this. Yugo knew that tone. It was the tone people used before saying things that could not be taken back. This child, the uncle continued, does not belong to this family. Blessing stiffened. Yugo stood up immediately. Watch your words. Another aunt shook her head. You brought this on yourself. You chose her over blood. Yugo's mother raised her hand for silence. I lost one son, she said slowly. I will not lose another. But I also cannot pretend. He turned to Blessing. People still doubt. People still talk. Blessing finally spoke. Her voice was calm but it carried weight. I have never lied, she said. Not once. The uncle laughed bitterly. Truth does not matter when shame is loud. Yugo felt something break inside him. This meeting is not about truth, he said. It is about punishment. Silence followed. Then the uncle said the words Yugo feared. If you insist on staying with her, You should leave this house. The room froze. Hugo looked at his mother. He did not stop them. That was the moment Hugo understood everything. That night Hugo packed again. Blessing said nothing as she folded clothes. The baby slept peacefully, unaware. At the gate Hugo turned back one last time. His mother stood there, tears in her eyes, but she did not move. Hugo bowed his head in respect. Then he left. Life outside the family was harder than Hugo expected. Money was tight. Doors closed easily when people heard his name. Blessing struggled quietly, never complaining, never asking. One evening, Hugo returned home to find Blessing crying for the first time since the baby was born. They went to my old place, she said. They warned my friend not to help me. Hugo's chest burned with anger. They want to break us, Blessing whispered. Hugo held her hand. They won't. But even as he said it, he knew something had to change. The final confrontation came unexpectedly. Hugo's father, who had stayed silent through everything, came to see them. He looked older. Smaller. He sat down and stared at the child for a long time. This child looks like my son, he said quietly. Blessing's eyes filled with tears. The man sighed. Your brother made many mistakes. We all knew. We just chose silence. He turned to Hugo. You did what I could not. You chose responsibility over comfort. Then he stood. I will speak to them, he said. The next family meeting was explosive. Truths poured out. The father revealed the brother's actions. The letter. The neglect. The secrets everyone ignored. Some aunts cried. Some uncles shouted. Some walked out. Hugo's mother broke down completely. I was angry, she cried. Because I saw you replace him. Hugo knelt in front of her. I never wanted to replace him, he said. I only wanted to protect what he left behind. The room went silent. Acceptance did not come immediately. But rejection lost its strength. Slowly the family stopped fighting reality. Blessing was allowed back, not fully welcomed but no longer chased away. Years passed. The child grew older. One day the child asked Hugo, why don't people call me by my father's name? Hugo knelt and said gently, because names are given by people. Love is chosen. The true ending came quietly. Hugo's mother fell ill. In her final days, Blessing was the one who stayed by her side. Fed her. Cleaned her. Held her hand. One night the mother whispered, forgive me. Blessing nodded. I already have. When she passed, the family cried together for the first time in years. No accusations. No fear. Just loss. Hugo stood by the grave holding Blessing's hand. The past no longer owned them. Love had cost them everything. But it had also given them something stronger than approval. Peace. And that was the ending no one expected, but the one they earned. If this story touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Like and share this video so more people can hear stories like this. Kindly share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Hugo did the right thing or should he have walked away? And if you want more African tales filled with love, family, and real-life struggles, subscribe and turn on notifications. A new story is waiting for you.